Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, we know this does not work. Let's get open for business, and let's wake up the football guys here. Wake up, guys. There we go. As we sit 35 days, 11 hours, and 55 minutes from kickoff of the 2019 season, and today, friends, today we have the Hall of Fame game. I know we're talking about a practice game, not a real game. We're talking about a practice. But I gotta tell you, it's great just to have football back. You know, I've been throwing football around the backyard for the dog to go ahead and chase because I have literally missed football that much. You know, I once famously said that I'm a football whore and I literally will do anything for football. And as you guys know, if you've been watching me, well, I'm here every day talking about my Dallas Cowboys. My Cowboys. A week ago today, they went to Oxnard. They've been practicing every single day since then. Had the first padded practices on Monday, padded practice on Tuesday. Veterans got off, except Travis Frederick. And we had practice yesterday. And today, friends, they get a well-deserved break. Hopefully, they have a nice time. They relax. They get the muscles and everything all massaged and worked out so that way they're ready for more practice. Now, if I had $1 for every time somebody sent me this clip, or if I had for every message or tweet or ask if this was me, I probably could take the day off today. Let's go to DC, which stands for Dallas Cowboys.
Really just
Got
intense
some.
fans.
We were talking about because the receivers are down there, closest to it, and I pointed it out to everybody. We're ready to go take it down, fight somebody.
You know, and I would like to think that we had some really just intense fans run up there and just tear it down. I'm not sure what happened, but I am happy that I looked up, I saw it, then I looked at the beginning, and it was down. So I was, hopefully some other that or Colt or Case may have just thrown a bullet and taken that thing down. That'd be something Colt would do, I can see. Yeah.
I don't know. They're outside the stadium, outside of the practice facility. So haters are always going to hate, man.
Haters are always going to hate. I always say that, when I hear people say you can't be a real Dallas Cowboy fan if you're not from Dallas, that, my friends, right there goes to show you. When you hear these Redskin players and stuff talk about, going over there and ready to fight and everything else, you're risking your life showing how much of a true blue fan that you are outside of Dallas. You don't have to worry about that in Dallas about getting your butt kicked because you're rooting for the Dallas Cowboys. You go to Philadelphia and try that, man, you definitely are going to get killed. But anyway, on to the business at hand, and that is our Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones said, you don't necessarily have to have the leading rusher to win Super Bowls in this league. And technically he is right because it's about having a balanced offense. But when you go through and you build your offense around Zeke Elliott, when you take the number 4 pick in the draft, not as a quarterback, but as a running back, that says you deem that guy pretty important. Okay? You deem him pretty important. And here's the thing. The Cowboys are blessed and cursed at the same time. And what I mean by that is because they have drafted so well, they have so many players that are at the top of the NFL chart, top of the food chain. And it's time to pay these guys. You could end up being other teams that don't draft well and not have this problem, or you could be the guys that end up having to overpay to get free agents. No, this is homegrown talent that you got acquired and have developed into top players in the NFL. Don't believe me? Take a look at the NFL top 100. Now, I know that's voted on by the peers and the fans and the peers and stuff, but it's who players and people think are the best in the NFL. I believe the Dallas Cowboys had 8 people out of 100. Now, technically, if you go through and there's 32 teams divided into 100, that means it should be an average of about 3 per team. The Cowboys had 8. I mean, 8. that the team has a lot of talent, needs to succeed with that talent, but has a lot of talent. But Stephen Jones, who I deem as the real power source for the Dallas Cowboys, is saying, listen, we can't afford huge deals for Dak, Zeke, and Amari. We're not going to be the trade center or the market resetter in the NFL. That's not us. We can't do it. Now, I'm going to tell you, a lot of things I do in here relate back to things that happened in my life. And this was a deja vu moment for me, thinking about Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, and Zeke Elliott. That is the modern day triplets. And if you look at the Dallas Cowboys identity and their DNA, it's always been predicated on those three pieces being there. And I have a flashback to my days when I was in Boy Scouts. And we were doing fire safety merit badge or something like that. It may have been called something different. I can't remember. We were at the Vienna fire station. And we had one of these old-timey firemen who was teaching the merit badge. And I remember because he was a prankster. Because he was telling a story about when they went to the hospital with a person on a gurney. They had the sheet over him. And when the nurse came up and things said, he said, don't worry, this guy's dead. And the nurse said, how do you know? You're not a doctor. So he pulled the sheet back and he threw the head at her and said, well, you tell me, is he dead or not? Now, I don't know if that really happened, but that was the story that he told us. But what I remember about this merit badge was you need three things to have a fire. You need a heat source, you need a fuel, and you need oxygen. Three things. If you eliminate any one of those three things, you can't have a fire. You can have gasoline poured all over the place. You can have oxygen, but if you don't have heat to start the fire, it won't burn. You can have oxygen. You can have heat. If you don't have something to burn, it won't burn. You can have heat. You can have gasoline. But if you don't have oxygen and fire to breathe, then you won't have a fire. And it's these basic principles that everything to stop a fire is about. That's why you have fire stopping in the wall. That's why you have fire stop doors to keep the oxygen out. Okay? That's why you don't store gasoline in the house because, well, it'll burn. And you always want to make sure if shit is hot, take it out the stove before it catches fire. It's those three things that you must have to have a fire. And that's the Dallas Cowboys offense. We have tried and failed just like a fire. 2015, we didn't have a quarterback. We had, figured we could just put anybody in there behind a great offensive line around a really good fourth-rated rushing attack, which is higher rated than we had last year, by the way. Just pointing out. In 2015, we had the fourth-rated rushing attack in the NFL. The quarterbacks couldn't bust a grape. And we could only win one game without Tony Romo and 4 in the season. So we know Dak Prescott, he's a quarterback. He's oxygen. We found out we're not as effective with Zeke Elliott, the fire, when he was suspended. We went 4-3. And our fuel, we found out when we cut Dez Bryant and lost Jason Witten that you got to have a number one wide receiver. When the Cowboys kind of said the same thing they said about Zeke just a couple of days ago. We don't need a number one wide receiver. We'll get a bunch of guys. We'll do wide receiver by committee. That'll work. We'll save the money on Dez. We won't spend it going out and getting a really good free agent. We'll be okay. Okay. No fuel. And guess what? The Cowboys had no fire the first half of the season. But I want you to think about this. Think about this real hard. No matter what you think about Dak Prescott, okay? saying he's overrated, he's average, he's a bus driver, whatever. I don't care. Just listen to this. I don't care what you say about Zeke Elliott. He wants too much money. He's a pain in the rear end. He's always in trouble. What Cooper? He's not one of the top receivers in the NFL. But I'm going to tell you, when you put those three together, you have a blazing inferno. And the proof of the pudding is from the time we got those guys together, the last 8 games of the season, I dare say the Dallas Cowboys were hotter than anybody else, going 7-1 and winning a playoff game. And that's where you have to be and looking at this. You got a window of about 3 years before these guys start really getting old. Your offensive line gets old and things. And as far as Steve Jones talking about this contract situation, this feels like deja vu to me. It really does. And he reminds me of the guy that goes into the car dealership to buy a car. And he walks in the door and says, you know what? Hey, I ain't got money for this. I can't afford it. I'm not going to spend a lot of money on a car. We're not going to reset the market. We're going to go over here, bargain shopping. I'll walk away and leave. And when you think about him saying that we're not resetting the market, it seems like you help guys like Frank Clark get paid after paying DeMarcus Lawrence. Didn't we go through and say that we expected to pay him about $18 million a year? Isn't that what we heard? That DeMarcus Lawrence wanted more money than what we thought? And we were looking at maybe we were going to walk away to try and get a better deal. But in the end, we ended up paying 20 plus. Listen, maybe you can't afford to pay these three. But I dare say, if you want a blazing inferno, if you want fire, I say you can't afford not to pay them. And it would behoove you to get them done sooner than later. To get all these guys in camp, focused on winning a Super Bowl. Because make no mistake about it, the talent that you guys assembled right now is as good as anyone in the NFL. When you've got 8 of the top 100 players rating and nobody's anywhere close, that should show you what you've got on paper. And right now, that means you go for it. But then again, I'm just a guy with a day job at Voodoo Doll who needs to go get to his day job. I'm Mark Holmes, and I will be seeing you guys because I'll be working from home today. I got cabinets galore to build in the workshop, got shelves to make and things. Going to be doing more stuff for the man cave because, guys, girls, it is NFL season right now. And the first of many games starts today. And I'll see you soon.